All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube. This is Pastor Dow. I'm going to come on here this morning because I have a few people who seem to be what I call overly concerned about Jay Snip's foreign move back to Florida. Now, I know that when I am actually on here doing videos, that I'm dealing with a diverse audience, meaning people have different perspectives, different beliefs, different theologies and ideologies. And let me say this, and I'm sure that I'm going to offend a lot of people. I'm sure I am. But I want to try to speak the words of truth and soberness, and I want to be sound in my delivery and application so that there's no room for misunderstanding. All right. Now, I guess let me start from this point right here. Let me start with me. All right. It's no secret out there that, I made it well known that I'm a United States Army veteran. I was a paratrooper for 10 years in the military. And but prior to that, I grew up your typical city boy. I grew up in the city. Did all the things that everybody does in the city and all this stuff. And then after that, I went into the military. I married my wife, who is nothing but a straight up city woman. There's no country in her whatsoever at all. And even still till this day, there's not too much country in her, except the changes that she has made since our conversion. But and let me say this: everybody that is live out here in the country with us here at Straightway, every single one of us come from the city. Every single one of us come from the religion of Christianity. Since then, I've done my own investigation, my own due diligence. I decided that, if I can get lied to about Christmas, Sunday, Easter, pagan holidays, and all this other stuff, I started investigating to figure out, and I wonder what else are these people lying to me about. So I started studying and doing my own due diligence, and I'm a man of truth. I'm a man that have experienced like passions in life that you have and still do even till to this day. But I'm cut out of a different mode because I believe in doing my best to try to help people all that they can be helped, if that's making any sense. And some people just simply cannot be helped whatsoever at all. So I have an extensive amount of experience with humanity. I have an extensive amount of experience with people who claim to be saints or Israelites or Christians. I have an extensive amount of experience when it comes to living in the city as opposed to living out here on the community. And I understand Jay Snip's four decisions. I understand exactly why he's doing what he's doing. That's why I questioned him early on. Not to cast doubt, but I question him because I understand what it takes to make the transition. And of course, if you've been watching my videos any length of time whatsoever at all, when I mostly speak to people, I'm speaking to people from the Israelite perspective, especially concerning moves, because it's impossible. Even in the military, when I went through training, there's no way I could have passed jump school if I didn't have my buddies. There's just no way possible. There's no way that a lot of things that we've done out there, even in the military, that you just simply cannot do it alone. You have to have buddies. Well, even in this walk right here, the moves and the decisions that I made, and I came up with these moves. I came up with these decisions based on reading the Bible. A lot of people claim that they read the Bible. They claim that they read the scripture. So I'm a little bit different. If I read something in the scripture, I'm just not going to ignore it, sweep it under the rug, and then cast it away as if it never happened. I'm going to look at it diligently, pray on it, and then my footprint is actually going to follow in the same steps that I see what's written in the book. I come from a biblical perspective. A lot of people don't come from a biblical perspective. Most people want to make moves simply because they want to save their hide from the upcoming pending economic judgment and the judgment of this country that is inevitable, that is going to happen here. And it's not going to be a walk in the park for the people. But all my decisions are motivated based on what I have read and understand in the Bible. And no doubt my lifestyle proves that the Bible is true. No doubt about it, because I have tested and I'm still tested. I have proven and I'm still proven. And I have tried the principles that the scriptures say and found them to be correct. And I found out that the conveniences of society or modern day civilization, they are all there to mask you and keep you from understanding exactly what you need to know in order to develop a closeness and a oneness with the Father. And I understand that very well. But making a transition, moving from the city life to the country life, it's a tough transition. It is a very tough transition because myself, you see my videos, you see how hard I work. And I haven't been working this hard just in the last few years. I've been doing this ever since my late 20s, if you understand what I mean. I think what's amazing to me is the hypocrisy of people who still have their feet sitting in the city, judge those who at least try to make an attempt and making a move to better themselves, or to at least make an attempt to try this particular lifestyle. And then they set up as if they are the judge and the jury themselves and pass judgment upon these people. They're very non-supportive. They themselves haven't tested, proven, tried anything. And most of them people out there in their life haven't never even experienced one change in their life whatsoever at all, and neither will they. What is my sentiments about living in the city? I think that people need to be out of the city. I don't think that anybody, especially the righteous, should be in any population center whatsoever at all, because I understand what's happening, what's taking place, and what's going to take place. But I know that most people, they love the conveniences of this world, and most people will not inconvenience themselves in order to prepare themselves for something that is going to take place. And you have to understand, Babylon is designed that way. Babylon is designed to make your flesh feel better. Because I don't mind telling you that I'm a pastor, but I'm a pastor different, totally different than the pastors you're familiar with. I'm a pastor that gets up early in the morning. I build buildings, I build homes, I build cabinets, I till the ground, I plant, I harvest, I preach, I teach. I'm very involved, and I have my foot in a lot of things in life. I get sweaty, I get nasty, I get dirty, as well as I have to come in and answer mail. I have to do all the things that what you have been accustomed to, what you call people pastors, that they would never ever look into whatsoever at all, much less ever do. I've come to find out that in the generation that we're living in now, and mind you, I'm talking about men in general. I'm not shooting at anybody. I'm talking about men in general. Most people don't have it. They don't have the work ethic. Neither do they have the intestinal fortitude. Neither do they know how to endure hardships. And I think what makes it really hard for a lot of people is simply because they don't have enough people behind them in a supportive role. When I made this move to start doing what I'm doing today, I didn't depend on anybody. I didn't depend on anybody to support me. I didn't depend on anybody to back me up. As a matter of fact, all the people who you had thought would have been supportive of you, i.e. natural family, they talked about me, they scorned me, they ridiculed me, they derided me, they chided me, they called me cult, they called me a cult leader. Even before I even had the community develop, they was already calling me all these names and stuff, and I have never forgotten those people, because you know why? Not a one of them have ever come back to me and said that I'm sorry. But it's utterly amazing how these same people so soon forget when their life starts to get altered and change. All of a sudden, they never forget, or they hunt down my phone number and they look for me for advice, and they forgot what they said years ago. And they haven't changed their mind, and they haven't never repented. They never even said, I'm sorry, but all of a sudden they expect me to bend over backwards and help these two-faced hypocrites out whenever they're in need. And I'm going to tell you right now that families has been some of my greatest enemies. That's the reason why I don't have anything to do with them whatsoever at all. And I got a new family now. I have a new family, those who follow the principles of the Bible. And most people can't do that. That which is born of flesh, see if we can understand this, is flesh, and that which is born of spirit is spirit. And these people, they always want to depend on me to come and help them, or the community come and help them do something, and their life has not altered or changed one bit, except one thing that has altered and changed. Their life has gotten worse over the years. And now, Can you imagine doing what I've done or what I am doing today 16 years ago, when the economy and everything was going fine and seemed to be fine, and everything to see peaches and creams and rosy and all this other stuff? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine what I looked like then? So there's a lot of things that I talk about today that it will not register with you, because if you don't have the eyes to see afar off, there's no way you can understand what I'm talking about. And so, you know, it's not an easy transition to make this move. You have to be dedicated. You have to put your hand to the plow. And once your hand is to the plow, you cannot look back. Mind you, I'm speaking from an Israelite perspective. Now let's go from a secular perspective where, you know that the principles and the things are right, but yet and still, you just like to do this because it would provide you a better lifestyle for you and your family. That can be done too. But I think more than anything, what I'm trying to say is this can't be done alone. You wouldn't believe how many people that have actually lived at this community and now they're gone. And these people, a lot of them expect more holiness and righteousness out of us than they are capable of producing themselves. And I'm all the time on the fire line to be judged. And Brother Jason Ford, he's my friend. He's going to be judged simply because at least he did step out on the water and did get out there to make an attempt with it. And he saw some of the things that he was not yet ready for. And he experienced a lot of things, which when he go back to the city, his mindset is going to be totally different. He's not going to be wasteful. He's actually going to grow more. His eyes are going to be open in his understanding. And the worst thing that anybody can do once you put your hand to something and you feel like that you cannot do it is to go back and get comfortable. If more than anything, you have to keep a high level of a heightened sense of awareness. It's not that it can't be done, and most people will not be doing it because the men who have chosen to make these moves. I mean, everybody is not Sister Carol. When I made this move, Sister Carol has always supported me 100% from day one. Did she have doubts? Sure. Did she have unbelief? Sure she did. But she never vocalized them to me. None whatsoever at all. Because women are built on security. And she done everything that I told her to. When I told her, get off the job, my wife got off the job. When I told her, you're going to homeschool and I'm going to help you, she homeschooled. All of this prior before living here. When I told her, we're not buying a house because it's stupid. It's stupid to buy a house in this environment. Mind you, I'm saying all this when everything is looking fine and good. You know, the economy is booming. We're hunky-dory. We're living in the city. I have a job in the city. I'm making a decent amount of money. Man, who thinks like this? Who in the world thinks like this? Not many. Again, my influence is because of the book, the Bible. Now, I'm going to ask you a question. If all these preachers and teachers out there saying that they read the Bible, how come they don't come to the same thing that I do? I mean, because what I'm living today, all these principles come directly from the New Testament. Every single one of them do come from the New Testament. Mainly starting at the book of Acts and the Gospels. And yet you don't see too many people doing that because people would rather have the convenience of the city rather than the trial and tribulation of the country. Now, I would tell you that it's very hard for us starting off. Very, very hard. Because dealing with humanity. You see, from a community aspect, when we first moved out here, everybody had, everybody, all of us did. All of us had successes and failures. We discovered a lot about ourselves. I discovered a lot about myself that I never even knew. I had things I had to overcome in my life. I had successes. I had failures as well as with the saints. But I have a few faithful people that's been with me a long time, and they have endured hardness as good soldiers. I can depend on them even in the day of adversity. I can depend on them. I can't depend on those people who will not make an attempt. See, I can depend on Jason Ford. I can depend on Jason Ford because even though he made this move, are you following me? I would rather have him closer to me. And all the things that he had out there and all the things he said is actual and factual. It's hard to do it by yourself. But when you don't have anybody in a supportive role, I mean, I'm 3 hours away from him. That's not a hop, skip, and a jump still till today. I try to help as much as I can, but he also knows how busy we are, and he helps me as much as he can. And I try not to inconvenience him because I know what it means to start a brand new business and to actually get into it. And that's the reason why I have not been ringing his phone off the hook and trying to trouble him. But it takes people who have, let me use this word, have the right chemistry. Everybody don't have the right chemistry. Everybody don't have the right mindset to do this. When people come here the straight way, they see what we have. And the first thing that comes up in our heart and mind, man, I love this. And we live simple. We don't have the modern conveniences that you people have out there. Now, we do have electricity. We do have homes and stuff. But they're not cosmetically like the places that you live out there. No, they're not. See, this home right here, I laid these blocks with my hands right here. These are blocks right here. This is a block building stuff. And this home has been through what you call a tornado. And this home right here has stand the test of time because I built it and I know what's in it. And I try to make sure that I put a lot of things into the buildings that we build. But I want to say this. I am a very hard, physical working man, as well as a very hard, and the one thing I don't like is sitting behind this desk. I can't stand sitting behind this desk. But yet as a pastor, I have to balance my time between hard labor and work. And I have to also come in here and sit behind this desk and do the necessary paperwork that needs to be done in order to make sure that the ministry is running and functioning right. And I can't stand that part. Nevertheless, I have to get out of my feelings and emotions and do what is necessary in order to accomplish the mission. Not only that, I have saints scattered all across this land that depend on my counsel, depend on my word, and depend upon me to get back with them, especially for pressing issues, because they're beginning to understand that you don't have to have a local pastor from a local church or local congregation in order to be led the right way. So I got a lot of digress. I got a lot of things I'm sure I can talk about right here. But we're out here, and I don't mind telling you, there's been a lot of people that have lived at this community that no longer live at this community, and they will never, ever come back to this community ever again. The door is completely, totally shut. I don't have any. I can't even, right now, I cannot even jump in a vehicle and drive to a natural family member's house on my mother or father's side. Do you understand that? I cannot do it. I don't care about them. They don't care about me. They are the ones who chose that decision. But I will tell you this, they would need me before I would need them. And it's just a fact. Now, we're watching our economy erode. We're watching our society erode. And the reason why I tell people to get out of the city is because that's not a place you want to be found at when the proverbial crap hits the fan. And that's not the place you want to be at when civil unrest arises. And the reason why it's important to have people around you and stuff, because, I can go into many different digressions. If you are blessed to come to gathering of the saints' gods, you can learn a lot. The reason why we do things a certain way. And everybody don't agree with me. Everybody don't agree with me. But I do know this. That the decisions and choices that I made in life have been a benefit for not only myself, but a few other people. I've been able to help people and to help family members, meaning spiritual family members, not natural family members. But I would say this to anybody who has at least made an attempt and now you're going back. Be careful of these people because they're going to mock you. J. Snip, they're going to mock you. Your family members who seem to be someone, the ones that have not been in a supportive role of you, whether you succeed or fail, they are the ones who are going to mock you. You can't trust them. Don't trust them one bit because they're going to say, well, this man started a work, but he wasn't able to finish. And under their breath and behind your back, they're going to talk about you and your family. You need to know this. But the ones that have been in a supportive role of you, whether you made this move to succeed or fail, and now you're back again, those are the people that you can trust. Those are the people who will be with you no matter what. So when I say that I understand very well, and I support Jason 4 in his move. What I'm doing, it comes under the guise of those who have the convicting power of the Holy Spirit, and what I'm doing, everything has to do with biblical principles. And the moves that I make and the direction that I give come from a biblical understanding. And I don't mind telling you, I have a family that is in Christ that I would never, ever trade for one natural family member ever in this life. Never would I ever do it. These people I love with all my heart, all my soul, all my mind and spirit. They have proven by their love, their dedication, and their commitment that they're committed to the Father. They're committed to the work that we're doing, and they understand it. And I can't say enough about the nucleus of the people who live on this land here at Straightway. With that said, I also have brethren and sisters scattered all across this land right here who are just as faithful, and they don't live on the community. And they understand the vision. They get the vision. And I'm talking about highly intelligent people too. And they're following my direction. They're following my direction. They ask me, Pastor, how should we do this? How should we do that? I've got enough years and experience and background behind me that I can tell them what they need to do in order to save them a lot of steps, a lot of heartache, and a lot of pain. I can also save them a lot of heartache and a lot of pain for telling them who and what people that they need around them and what people they need to watch out for, even while they're in the assembly with them, because everybody don't have faith. And everybody, even, hey, you ever heard that old saying, a new broom sweeps well? Everybody don't have what it takes to do what we're doing. And neither, they may think they do, but most people want to try to come here because they think they can come out here and sit on a lazy rear end and not do nothing. You can tell by my videos that if you do not have a physical work ethic, you will not make it a Straightway. And that's probably the reason why you're not here. And you're not going to make it at any of the other places and the communities that are developing, because we're not going to have any lazy people who can't get up out of bed, who's always sick, and who's always got an excuse. You can't do this, you can't do that, can't do this, can't do that. As a matter of fact, I'll give you an itinerary of my day today. I get up in the morning, I'm getting ready to go out to the greenhouse and the garden, all this before I go to the dining hall. And then I have a building up here that we set anchor boats on and stuff, and I have to go get building material. And when I get back from the building material and stuff, I have to get ready for a radio broadcast this evening and stuff. Not only that, I have mail that I have to go pick up. I have mail that I have to answer and stuff. I have phone calls I have to make. This is just my day right here. And that's not including before all this day gets started, getting up and praying and studying with the Most High. And then when I'm out, my cell phone is ringing off the hook, getting blown up. And then I have to turn around and answer all this stuff and give direction from people from one end of the United States to the other and parts of the world. That is pretty much my day on a daily basis. And I'm not murmuring, griping, or complaining. But most people cannot do this. They simply cannot do this. But I guess what I'm saying more than anything, before anybody thinks about this type of walk, you need to really search your heart. You really truly need to look deep down inside, because living on a community, I'm talking about community, is very hard work. And if you're going to live it, you will be transformed. But the last thing you want to do is be caught with you and your family by yourself. You see, you got things you got to change about yourself. And you have to do it for the Bible's sake if you're an Israelite. And I know that some of you out there, you got your mind so made up. I ain't going to do this. I ain't going to do that. Don't worry about it. You're going to find out your I ain't is going to quickly turn to you will. I promise you. Because the way our situation and circumstances is here in this country, you will comply one way or the other. Either it's going to be to this beast system, or you're going to be under the authority of those who have the experience and understanding. And of course, I got a feeling that Jay Snip has learned from this move right here. And I think that he's actually going to be back in the city, maybe for a little while, but I actually still think he's heading right back out to the country again, because it's where his heart is. I want to say this, though. Wives, if you got a husband who has faith, you want to get behind them and support them every step of the way, because they're your covering. I know that our society doesn't promote that. I know that our society, they got everything geared up a total different way. But again, remember, I'm a pastor. I believe the Bible. Not only do I believe the Bible, I don't believe it with just mental assent. I'm just sitting up here acknowledging, When I give you direction, when I give you my opinions and my experience is what I'm doing, is because I have lived it and I have done it. I'm not going to sit out here and stretch myself beyond measure and tell you something that I haven't done myself, or something that I'm not capable of doing myself. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that at all. I don't mind telling you that I clean chicken manure out of coops. I don't mind telling you that at all. I don't mind telling you that I shovel cow dung. Don't mind telling you it all. I don't mind telling you that I butcher deer. I butcher chickens. I don't mind telling you it all. Mind you, I lived in the city. That stuff was so far from my mind. So far from it. But I will tell you this. If you're going to make it in this situation like it, it's going to take some perseverance. It's going to take a change, a total, complete change of mind, because you can make everything bad. But your flesh loves conveniences. It loves convenience. Hey, I could go out there and live in the city right now better than any of you. You know why? Yeah, I could, because I have the experience and know what hard work and labor really mean. But you know what's amazing, though? Out of all the work that I've done out here, and all the things that the Father has blessed us with, we own every single thing we have, and we owe no man nothing. We build it, we pay for it, it's done for. Are you following me? And for that, I thank the Father for it. So I have a lot of direction. I can help people out to save them a lot of steps. And I want you people to listen to me, especially you people that are Israelites out there. I don't expect the heathen to get this. I don't expect them to get it all. I want you Israelites to listen to this real close. If you're going to follow me as I follow Christ in this ministry, don't you take it upon yourselves to just decide and go and move around people who you're not familiar with and move on somebody's land that you don't know, because I didn't give you direction. And if things start going bad because you're familiar with the ministry with me and you decided to make moves on your own without consulting me, do not come to me looking for direction. Do not come to me belly aching and complaining because things didn't work out, because I did not send you there. I didn't send you there. You know, the scriptures teach that you obey them that have a rule over you, and you submit yourselves because they watch for your soul. Now, I understand that you never hear that in Christianity. You never hear that even in this world, none whatsoever at all. And I'm talking to Israelites. I'm not talking to people out there who don't understand these principles. But you need to listen to me very carefully and listen to me very diligently, because I will give you sound advice. But I want to say that I'm actually proud of Jason Ford for at least making the move. The man has a very good heart, a big heart, and he's just a friend for life with me and the community here straightway. I love him. I love his family. He's a friend that sticketh closer than a brother, and he is a friend that loveth at all times. So I'm not disappointed about him making an attempt and stuff. It is a great adjustment. I'm hoping that things work out for him when he gets back there to the city. But my advice to you, Brother Joe, is once you get back to the city, is never forget the experiences that you've learned, and never go back to the city with the mindset that you're feeling that you know you and your family can be eased. Take these experiences and use them to grow and get ready to prepare yourself to come out again. And this time when you come out, you'll be coming out, and you won't be going back. And he's right. He said it himself. You can't do it by yourself. I don't do this community by myself. I have a few faithful people, a handful of people when we first started out here. And I've got people beating down the doors who want to get here on this community. A lot of people think they want to live on this community, but they can't. And I got a lot of people who are associated with the ministry who are not thinking about the community, but they will be thinking about it when crap hit the fan, though. I promise you that. And I'm going to tell you right off the bat, I can't move people on this community, even if things do go bad, when you have not practiced any disciplines in your life while you're living away from any community or any settlement that we're involved in. Because I can't have those attitudes and those natures that are undisciplined, that are spoiled, come into a place like this, because you will literally wreck and tear up a place. Yes, you will. You would do it, and I'm not going to allow that. I'm not going to allow it at all. So everybody has to be transformed, including me. We all do. And so a lot of people won't understand my preaching, and neither will they understand my teaching, simply because I speak totally different than the way that this world does. So, hey, more than anything, my advice is that with Jay Stips' forward move and he's going back to Florida, I think that everybody should use this as a learning experience to see that when I tell you that you actually need to get around and close to people of like mind, like precious faith, it's going to take that. And he's right. When we go to the store, we have a crappy Walmart up here in Lafayette, but I don't mind telling you that Sister Carol and I drive sometime an hour and a half, an hour and 45 minutes away when we do most of our shopping. We grow up and raise our own chickens here on the land. It's taken us a long time to get to that place to where we can do that. We raise in between 200 and 400 chickens every so often. We raise our own cattle. We have Black Angus that we butcher. We got 4 or 5 head of beef right now hanging up, curing out and stuff that we use because we know what's in them. They're grass fed. We know it because we put the stuff in them ourselves. We have distillers. We have reverse osmosis. We even have a big Berkey. We have all these things. We grow a big garden, extraordinary amount of garden. And the people who live outside the community, they actually are benefits and partakers of this. They come here every Sabbath. They eat with us. I have faithful people who understand and get what I'm saying and what I'm doing, and they give. They support me in this effort. Whether you people like it, understand it or not, wherever your treasure is, there will your heart be also. There's something to be said for those who faithfully and diligently give of their substance, especially when their life is being increased and their understanding is being increased and their relationship with the Father is growing. There's something to be said about those people, and those people have a special place in my heart. Well, what about the people that don't give? Again, wherever your treasure is, there will your heart be also. I mean, I'm a pastor. I receive and I give. Matter of fact, I give pretty much over an abundance of what I usually receive. And I know y'all find that hard to believe, but I'm not trying to convince anybody of anything. And I'm definitely not making any selling points for Straightway because I don't want you here. You got to understand that. The Most High is the one who determines who gets here or any other place that we have involved. But let me go back to Jason and 4 because throughout this video, I've been going back and forth. But more than anything, I want to encourage the heart of Joe. Realist News. I want to encourage the heart of him and his family. I understand very well. And I'm still here to help you in no matter whatever way I can because you are a true friend. Your family is too. And I love you all very dearly. And you ain't got to worry about Pastor Dow ever slandering or defaming or calling you a hypocrite or nothing like that because I understand. I deal with enough of these two-faced hypocrites who haven't even tried to even make a move. At least you did. And I have a lot of respect for that. I really, truly do. I look forward to seeing you pretty soon, Brother Joe, you and your family here before y'all head on back. Now let me get back to the people again. If you're an Israelite, you shouldn't be in these cities. You should get out of these population centers. When you get out of these population centers, you know that your flesh is going to be inconvenienced. You need to get accustomed to sweating. Most of you ain't never sweat a day in your life except walking from the house to the car and to the building. And that's all the sweating you've ever done. We don't waste food out here because we grow our food. And when we set up under a table, we're very thankful for the food that we've raised. But you have to understand, we live a very quiet and peaceable life. We've adjusted to it. We love it. And you're not going to get us to ever move back to them cities again. Not anybody. Not us here Straightway. We're not going back to these cities. There'll be many that will put their hand to the plow and they will look back. Now, from a biblical perspective, you're an Israelite. If you put your hand to the plow, you look back, you're not even fit for the kingdom of Yah. That's what the word says. I did a lot of rambling here. Don't even know if I made too much sense myself. I understand what I'm saying. I think more than anything, I made this video is to get a lot of you hypocrites off the back of Jason M4 who at least made an attempt and at least tried, while you sitting on your rear end and you ain't did nothing but passing judgment. Pay attention to those people, brother, because they are your true enemies. And pay attention to those family members. Do not forget this wisdom at all. Pay attention to these family members, the ones who were against you from the day you set foot to move out of Florida. Don't think when you get back to Florida that they are your friends or they're close to you or they really truly love you. No, they don't. No, they don't. They are true enemies. And I know that here in this world that Christianity teaches you don't have enemies. That's a lie from the pit of hell. You do have enemies. And most people let you know that they are your enemies. And you need to know your enemies. I'm talking to all of us out there, every single one of you. So if a man doesn't favor your cause, move them out of your way or out of your life. If they don't favor your cause, they don't support you in a cause, you know who your enemies are. Move them out of your way, out of your life. I don't care what words people say. Pay more attention to things that people do and the things they do not do. Can you imagine having it in your heart and having it in your hand to do good to people, and yet when it's time to do it, you don't do it? I've got Israelites out in California who actually went in with another family, and they were under the understanding that, okay, we're going to get this land, and it's going to be for more Israelites to actually come and live on this land. Only come to find out through that bad experience that this family has taken $40,000 of their money that they invested in this land, and now they won't even contact them. And these are old people, old seasoned people that took advantage of young people. Young people. Can you believe that? If you're going to make any moves in reference to anything, you need to try to at least ask me for my opinion and direction on it so I can give you sound wisdom and advice to save you a lot of heartache and pain, because everybody who say that they're an Israelite is not an Israelite. And everybody who say that they're a friend, they're truly not a friend. Human beings are selfish by nature. And human beings only care about themselves, and they will not inconvenience themselves for your benefit. The only ones that would do that is the ones you physically see that do something with their hands to help you. It's one thing to sit up and say, oh, we'll pray for you, but it's another thing to get this hand out there and put your hand to the plow and help your brothers and sisters. Those actions and those deeds are letting you know who are really, truly for you. Oh, and another word of advice while I close this video up. Do not trust in anyone who secretly defames your character and name. None whatsoever at all. Do not trust in anyone who seems to be a friend, and then you find out later on behind your back they're making judgments and they're speaking against you or talking against you and stuff. Look at the devil. The devil is a lie. Oh, can they repent? Yeah, I haven't never seen too many people actually doing what you would call repentance nowadays. Most people just usually let situations diffuse, let time and chance go by, but they never truly repent. And since they never truly repent, that means there's another opportunity waiting around the corner for them to cut your throat at a later chance. You know, I've said a lot of things in this video that I'm sure it's upset a lot of people, because I've spoken to many different people in many different aspects and many different perspectives and walks in life. But I spoke to a lot of heart issues. And the majority of people that I run across are usually stage playing hypocrites. I've learned in life that whatever people expect out of others, they are not capable of producing the same expectation themselves. And I've learned that people put greater judgments upon you than they would their own selves. But I also learned that people love to sit on their butt and do nothing, but they believe themselves to be judges of everything. I tell you, look at the devil. The devil is a lie. Now, Joe, good learning experience, brother. Back to you, Joe. You and your family, y'all be encouraged. Let us know if you need anything. You have my phone number. You have my cell phone number. You know Straightway is going to be here to help you. I'm with you, brother. I'm with you 100%. And we're going to help you, all right? I want y'all to be encouraged. I really, truly do. I hope that I've said something to stimulate thought and mind, but I will tell you this. If you come around and you're posing as an Israelite, you better believe that even though I don't say anything, I'm watching you. You're watching me, but I promise you one thing, you're not watching me nowhere near to the level that I'm watching you.